Aloha and welcome to the last episode of the webinar series, the 5 main roadblocks that stop you from really getting what you want in your life. And I am your host, Candice Box, and I am normally in Honolulu, Hawaii. However, I made a super long trip from Honolulu all the way to Orlando for a conference here. So I traveled about 12 hours, and it's about 9 p.m. on the east side. And I have to say I'm a bit jet lagged, but I'm here and I'm ready to offer some awesome information to you and share with you the last block. But before I do, I just want to do a recap of the whole series. It's been an amazing journey, and especially I know each one of you who are on with me have received so much value. I've received so many emails and compliments and how it's changing your life. So thank you for watching and participating and being here on the webinar series. And I have to say it's kind of bittersweet and sad that this one is ending. However, I am starting another one, and that'll begin on November 11th. 11/11, which is a great day, and that's going to be an awesome series on how moms and dads, entrepreneurs, balance their lives and handle a family, their careers, and to have you write me an email and share with me what you can offer and things that you can share with the group. So my email is candicebox11@gmail.com, or you can reply to any one of the number of emails that I've sent you about the webinar series and let me know. I'd love to invite you on to the next webinar series. So a little bit about me if you just joined on. I'm Candice Box, and I'm an intuitive life coach, spiritual healer, and massage therapist. I've been a massage therapist for about 10 years, and I love it. And as this journey of entrepreneurship has the same blocks that all of you are experiencing, from the first one, which is understanding all the archetypes that have been sabotaging or keeping me back from the life that I really wanted. And that's what we began with in the introduction, is the 4 main archetypes to survival that just stop us from going to that next level. And that, again, was the victim, the saboteur, the child, and the prostitute. The next webinar after that, we talked about analysis paralysis. And you know, we get so passionate and excited about sharing our information, but at the same time, there's so much information online and all over the place. We're in an information age where everything is available at our fingertips, and we think we have to know every single thing before we begin our business, but then we get overwhelmed and then we don't even do anything because we just want to look perfect. But we know now that we can just begin with what we do know and just keep moving forward. And that's what I did with the webinar series. I kind of took what I knew and invited guests on with their information and what they could add, and here I am doing these webinar series. The next one was all about believing in yourself. And that one is a tough one for a lot of people because so many people believe in us, but we have so many fears and doubts within us that keep us from moving forward and really enjoying our own lives and putting ourselves out there, which then led to the next one, which is putting ourselves out there. And so many different excuses that we have that we don't share our information or who we are with the world. But like I said, we're each unique and very talented, and the world deserves to know what we have to offer and share. And then today, we're going to be talking about the block to having faith. You know, sometimes we go about doing or creating our business and we plan everything and we forget that it doesn't have to look perfect, and we need to make room for the magic of spirit or God or whatever you believe in to work through it and allow its hand to come through so everything works out for the most impactful opportunity for everybody, not just you and not just for your family, but for everybody. And so sometimes as we align ourselves and have faith that as we're taking action steps towards what we really want to create, we have this hand that guides us kind of points us in the right direction and leads us to where we want to go. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is we have blocks in patience and in trust, as well as in right timing. These three things are just so important in your business, because when you are patient with yourself and not having to push yourself past your own limits, then you actually have the creative juices as well as the energy to keep moving in your business. Otherwise, you burn yourself out really quickly, and then you give up, and then it ends, and then you don't offer what you have to offer for the world. Another thing is trusting that if this is your passion, if this is what you're meant to be doing, then everything is going to work the way it needs to work out. You just have to keep doing it a little every day, and we talked also about that. Just, you don't have to do giant strides and compete against other people. It's just doing what you need to do every single day. And if it's little steps, it's little steps. The ones that, kind of like the tortoise and the hare, the ones, or the tortoise will get there eventually, and you can do it. And then with right timing, I like this story about, I can't remember which book, but it was about right timing. Sometimes when you're in a line at a grocery store and or it's also setting up a circumstance where you're supposed to meet someone at the right time, at the right place, right after you walk out of that grocery store. And it's those coincidental moments that sometimes we miss because we go around rushing and doing things on our time rather than on right timing. In my business, and this, I think, has been in my mind since 2008. And it's taken me a long road to get there. And I realize now it's because I had to learn the lessons and gain the knowledge and the power to be able to have the confidence to be in that position, to be able to speak in front of large amounts of people, to be able to have the power and the wherewithal that allows me to share my information with all of you. And sometimes I was really impatient, and I was like, oh, why isn't this happening already? I see it. It's in my vision. I see it. But I needed time to really hone in on my skills so that I can be the best version of myself when that does occur. I like to always talk about Carolyn Mays, because she was working on an idea, a book, for a really long time. And for her, she was wanting to put it out there right away, but she felt like this saying, like Spirit was saying, it's not time, it's not time. And finally, I think it was like 10 to 20 years later, she finally was able to get the last missing piece of the information for her book, and she launched it, and she's now such a huge success. It's quite amazing. But if she pushed beyond her limits and did what she did, or if she did what she did before that could happen, then I don't think the world would be ready for her information. And sometimes, it just takes time. It takes time and faith, and knowing that it'll be the right time for you, for your business. One of the women that I have brought as a special guest today, her name is Rui Ryburn, and she's an amazing woman. She has been a mentor and a teacher to me, and has done so much of healing and healing herself and so many people. What a wonderful person. And I wanted to bring her out today because she has so much wealth of information of really stepping into a spiritual path that helped guided her in her business. And so, Rui Ryburn, I would love to have you out, and if you can share with us a little bit about yourself and your journey as you created your school and your business.
Hi, good evening. 21 years ago, was a full professor of nursing at the University of Hawaii, with a marriage that wasn't very happy, but a marriage, and 4 teenagers under roof. And I just hit a wall that just was, I can't do this anymore. This is not what I came down here to do. And God, I'm on my knees, open the path. It took a few weeks, and a church that I attended had a women's retreat, and I decided, well, I think I better go to this. I hadn't ever done yoga, but this gal was teaching spiritual yoga that I really loved. I could just feel divine grace moving through me in deep waves from that. And I also had gone out and journaled, as everybody else did. And I started out, what are my dreams? I don't even know anymore. I used to have dreams. And by the time I finished writing, sitting out on the beach, I was wanting to do some kind of healing and help families heal. And it just came down in some kind of download that made me go, oh my gosh, what's that? Within a year, I had gotten into the Barbara Brennan School after the yoga teacher had come, and I had done 2 workshops, had started being able to do healing work, and yet didn't feel like I knew enough. With my nursing background, the healing just was scary with the power that was flowing through. So I went to the Barbara Brennan School of Healing, which is located just south a bit from where Candice is right now, down in Miami, and 4 years there, and then 2 years of teacher training and another 3 years teaching for them. And finally, that jaunt from Honolulu all the way to Miami got to be a long trek, and I stopped teaching there. And it wasn't long before it was just clear to me. First of all, I was able to retire from the university at the earliest possible rate. I think I was 58 years old, but I'd put in enough time that I could retire. And I was just going to go home and start doing a healing practice, and then it was just clear that guidance was saying start a school, which I did, and it has been in operation since '01 now, and we have graduated around 100 people. A lot of poetry and guidance came through in building the curriculum for this school. I had lost my daughter in 1999. She was an amazing poet. I was a nursing professor writing professional literature, grants, etc. But I had someone tell me in an intuitive reading that my daughter was studying with Kahil Gurban and from Spirit and wanted to write through me. And the next morning I got up and took a pen to paper and just said, okay. And poetry began to flow. I've had wonderful other teachers along the way. The most recent is a teacher named Doma Geshe Rinpoche. And I find that having master teachers who can help you continue to move blocks and karma and clear your energy field is so important. And I am grateful for their assistance. The first teacher was Virginia Ellen, and I also studied with somebody named Jim Gordon. But eventually, guidance also needs to begin to flow through each of us individually, and our work just begins to unfold in amazing ways. It isn't, in some ways, work. Yes, time put in, yes, deep amounts of energy expended assisting other people, but there is such a flow happening and a filling of me that the work is just a byproduct, and the people that are supposed to come. And it's been delightful to have Candice be one of my students. She's a graduate now, and it's wonderful watching her growth and development. So I don't know, Candice, if there's something else you want me to share immediately, or if you have any questions.
Yeah, I do. I actually, in your feeling guided, I know that a lot of people get into jobs that they don't really want to have, and they settle for it because it's what's making them money. And I think take these jobs for that reason, to provide for the family. But when people take a risk and go after what they love, you know, we do gamble on if we'll make money or if we'll be successful. But I feel that most people, when they really just open their heart to their passion and purpose, that we really step into a place where no matter what kind of money we make, and we'll probably make a ton of it because we're so much more passionate about it, that it's for me a higher way of living than from a place of just working for the money. And in your career as a teacher and seeing all these different students go through your school and doing different jobs, what have you seen a lot of people change careers and start doing what they want to be doing?
Yes, or a expansion, perhaps, sometimes of the career. Um, I think when you allow spirit and